Armageddon at the bottom of the ocean? Let's talk about it.
Hey, cinema community, we heard our local MC just got done seeing the movie Last Breath. One movie, 1 minute or less. Rebecca, what'd you think?
The trailer put together a pretty suspenseful piece of work.
Okay, in you go. Stay safe, brother.
Diver, in the water at 300 feet. Bell, do you copy? Comms check.
Comms check.
The movie ended up being less so.
This movie is based on a true story, and a really interesting one at that.
Slow your breathing down for me, okay?
You're pushing too hard.
Copy. On the job now. Keep the focus where it needs to be.
Diver 1.
Begin equalization.
Trying to work my magic.
I was surprised to hear that actually this was a documentary by the same director. Alex Parkinson did a documentary 2019. Here we are, 2025. It's a feature movie.
I think that the problem for me with this movie was that the suspense wasn't held.
The thrusters have gone offline.
How many?
All of them.
Ship's moving, get out of there.
Right now. Copy that. A snag.
There is no more slack. That's everything I've got.
There's moments where the suspense was almost cut in half. Sure, you'd have like almost a quick glimpse to another shot, and then all of a sudden you're returning to the original shot. If you let the audience sit with the suspense, I think this would have made it a so much more enjoyable experience.
This movie wasn't too long, and I was glad because it's a story. It's a good story. It's a story that's interesting. But somehow, like Rebecca said, they didn't hold the suspense, and my disappointment was the parts that were supposed to be really intense, really important. They just kind of blew through those, but they were doing some really strong character building and story development before that.
Honestly, I would have appreciated seeing more of the scale of the ocean. Here you have a crewman who is lost in this vast expanse of the sea.
I'm not losing a diver today.
Duncan! Dave! I can't see you!
And they're trying to find him. And on top of that, they have a ticking time clock, so they need to find him as fast as possible. For me, the effective shot in the trailer, the one that sold me, was the diving bell sweeping over and you just see this sea of blackness surrounding the characters.
I was really wanting to like this movie more. I liked the characters, I liked the casting, I liked the story, but it just felt like it went on too long, even though it was meant to be suspenseful.
I feel like the cast did a solid job. There's a lot of character archetypes in here that, yes, they're based off real people, but they could come across as very cliched. That being said, I felt like the movie almost didn't let you care enough about some of the different people. You have 3 main people that you're focused on.
You can do this, buddy.
I'm with you.
Incoming swell. Brace for impact. No! No!
But I think a little bit of extra work with the other characters would have gone a long way.
There were a few parts that were actually a little bit confusing. Rebecca and I had talked about it. If they would have wove that into the story a little bit more, some of the technology, some of the diving issues.
The ship's not drifting.
Chris has become our anchor. That's never going to hold.
Chris, on me.
What happens now?
Your umbilical, it's gonna snap. I will come back for you, but you have to get yourself back to the top. I can't rescue you if I can't find you. Understand?
Just make sure I'm alright.
It probably would have helped the movie, and I think it probably would have increased my investment just a little bit more.
I agree with Teresa. There's some technological things that, yes, they laid it out for the audience, but I felt like it wasn't effective enough. Teresa and I were talking, it felt like there were some plot holes and some basic logistical things that the filmmakers could have addressed.
Honestly, I think the documentary would probably be just a little bit more interesting, letting the characters, meaning letting the real people tell the story. That being said, the movie wasn't terrible. It was pretty good, but it wasn't great. And I admit, I'm spoiled. Jimmy Chin to me is the gold standard, and this is Alex Parkinson. He did the documentary, he did this movie, and it is a story worth telling. I'm glad to hear it, and it had a great epilogue at the end.
We haven't seen the documentary, so we're only comparing this based off the film. And honestly, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Rebecca, what do you think? Is it worth a watch?
I feel like this is your FX Friday night dad cinema flick. There's some actors you're gonna know, there's a premise that's gonna string you along for an hour and a half. Either way, the time's gonna pass, but you might as well pick something better.
I like the movie enough. I think it's worth a watch, but I wouldn't run out to the theaters. But like Rebecca said, I think it's a hang-at-home movie, popcorn cinema, kind of the dad cinema. I think if you like the trailer, you're probably gonna like the movie as well.
This has been a review of Last Breath. We want to hear from you in the comments. We talk a lot about dad cinema, so we want to hear from you. What's your favorite dad cinema movie? And if you want to check out some of our other reviews, click the links to the right.